Hi, I'm Ryan from Eliminator RC. Today, we're at the old St. Andrews Airport airstrip to show you some cool RC models and have some fun flying today in the backside of a real airport. Let's get to flying. This is a Flyzone Corsair with the Retrax. It's a box stock plane with Dylan flying it. We've got quite a bit of wind today, so it's a little bit of a trick to fly. Let's see what Dylan's can do with it. Bang. So now, Mike, we have your 600 here that seems to be missing a limb.
Yeah, it had a rough landing right there at the end. It's flying great today, and all of a sudden it lost power, came down hard.
Happens in a split second, but just like any model, if you haven't crashed it, you haven't flown it.
That's right. Flies great though. This is the first big helicopter I've ever had, and you really notice a difference, right? When you bring it over, it's so much smoother and slower. It's not twitchy like the little ones.
Here we have Dale with us today. And Dale, I think you got 12 Blades of Fury going on?
No, there's just 6 around here. Looks like it right now, but we got the small version in the center there, and that was kind of what inspired us to do something a little bigger.
Now, I hear that you also have another source of propulsion for this as well. You got a little bit of extra going on it too?
Yeah, well, we thought that since we're balloon guys as well, so we're going to have above this is another frame, and then a 10-foot ball with helium in it. So we get an extra 28 pounds out of that.
So with this thing all set up, and what are you guys hoping is a projected lift power for it, for amount of weight you can lift?
We want to lift about 400 pounds.
And be able to carry it for how long of a distance do you think?
Oh, probably a kilometer. Yeah, the battery is actually slide in a tray, and all the controllers are Velcroed on. So it's an awful lot like the little guy here, where the battery's in the bottom, the batteries are in the bottom. It's just we're running 8 or 12. We had 6 cells first, then we went to 12. So a lot more battery than this little guy. But the same things you see, GPS, cameras, kind of all the same stuff we put on here.
Yes.
Now, Mike, we got your Pulse here. What do you got for a power system in that Pulse, Mike?
There's 2 options for this plane. You could either throw in the 25 or the 32, but of course go big or go home, right? So I got the Power 32 in here. Always better to have more than not enough.
So with this plane, do you find that with the slim profile on the wings that it cuts the air a lot better? It's a little bit sleeker in the fuselage, I noticed in some of the other ones.
Yeah, absolutely. Even in the wind today, you could tell it stays pretty straight. You know, again, having that speed always helps keep it stable too.
Well, cool. Thank you very much for coming out and flying it on TV today.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks for coming out.
Dale, and Dale, you got your Beast here, and this Beast has got the AS3X gyro in it. How does that help you flying in the wind with the wind today?
Oh, it's amazing. Such a light little foam plane, very scale looking and so on, and it just helps you control it. It's nice and stable.
Like this plane is probably, I'd say, a pound, maybe 2 pounds, if that, we're safe.
Oh, I think it's just a few ounces. It's amazing that a plane like this can even fly in that kind of wind.
Because the wind today was probably around 20 kilometers an hour, you'd say, a little bit more maybe.
Yeah.
It was gusting up to probably about 30. And even some of the bigger planes without the gyro were having a problem flying, but this thing just cut it like it wasn't even there. Cool. Well, thank you very much for having us out today at your hangar and at your abandoned airstrip here. And it was a lot of fun. And we've seen some carnage, but you know what? When flying models, you know it's going to happen. You're going to crash.
Oh, you're welcome anytime.
Thank you.
That'll buff right out. I'm going wherever the plane goes.
Well, like all good things, this one has to come to an end. Thanks for coming out to St. Andrews Airport to check out our flying site. But hey, not only flying happens here, we also had the fifth scales out. How can you not have fun driving those things? Everybody needs one in my opinion. So why don't you come down and get yours today? Well, I'm gonna go back to driving. You guys stay tuned for more RCTV.